there's an outlet called Protestia. As far as I can tell, this is like a Christian Protestant outlet. I think it is. And they mainly just criticize Protestant heretics, which is fun. That's cool. I think they do sometimes insult Catholics, which is also fun. I like that. But anyway, they've got this guy named Todd Bentley. Now, I don't follow this stuff. This just came up on X. I have no idea who this guy is. I have no idea about Christian drama or what's going on in that world. But this came up, and I really, really liked it. I'm going to take you on the journey that I went on when I saw this tweet. Okay, so it says, Todd Bentley recently spoke at a Morning Star Ministries conference where he claimed Jesus took him to the gates of Hades and gave him the keys of Peter, along with the power and authority to, quote, cancel death, unquote, and cure terminal illnesses. All right, I'm going to play this video. I've actually got to boost the audio for this part. I do it all live. So here we go.
Really say, but I had an experience with the Lord that's absolutely transformed me.
Now, to look at this guy, he looks like a piece of shit. He's all tatted up. He's got the shaved head with the gigantic, disgusting red beard. He's in terrible shape. He's like fat. He's chubby. Yeah, he's not like a real American fat, like not severely obese, but he's everywhere else in the world he'd be very fat. He's quite chubby. He's got tattoos all over his arms. He's got tattoos, I think, on his neck. He's wearing glasses. Like, he looks like he's a barista with a few rape convictions. Okay.
This last month has been like living under an open heaven. It's like there's an open heaven. I'm never without feeling like the Father is right here. And I did see some things. And I did hear some things. And a lot of it took about 3 days after the episode for me to remember what my spirit was doing when my body was in that hospital.
Okay, so he's Canadian. On the back of his neck, which you can see, it's like partially on his neck, partially, it's like right behind his ear, so it's partially on like the back of his shaved head. He's got a Canadian leaf, which I could stop the video right now. It would be enough. That would be enough. You would be like, hey, Wizard Cat, that is crazy. And that would be a good story. That would be enough. But no, we're going to go on. Let's go on.
Unconscious for 10 hours. My spirit traveled to the valley of the shadow of death.
So he's talking about he had a medical episode, and he's up here speaking at a conference. It's all old men who look more like typical preachers behind him. But he has this medical episode. 3 days later, he somehow, quote unquote, remembers this spiritual journey he had.
The Lord was with me. And I've never seen the Lord like this, but he was a ball, like an orb of light. Stood over my left shoulder behind me, and it was Jesus. And he said, look at your right hand. And I'm standing and looking at the gates of Hades. I've been to the gates of heaven. I've had heavenly experiences. I love the open heaven, but I've never been to the gates of Hades. And I'm glad I wasn't there for discipline. I wasn't there for like some great rebuke. I was there to get authority.
Now, why would you think you might be there for discipline or some great rebuke? Why were you worried about that? This is called foreshadowing, because there's going to be some great stuff later when we get to this guy's Wikipedia. But, all right, let's go on.
Because the mantle of authority is what the church needs, because we got to stop giving permission to things that we have the authority to shut down the gates of hell, and that's why we have the key.
All right, so if you're just listening, the camera's been on him and the people behind him on stage the whole time. Now it's cut out, so they're in this like conference room, and it's a bunch of slovenly retards in chairs, in tables around him. Looks like a bit like a wedding reception. bunch of idiots here listening to this guy. He's saying that he's got the keys of the gates of Hades. He was talking to Jesus, who first appeared as an orb of light.
And the Lord had the key there. He said, this key is what I gave to Peter when I told him that he was to shut down the gates of hell, that the church had the authority.
And I need to emphasize, if you're just listening, this guy has tattoos on his arms that are going all the way down to the backs of his hands. This guy just looks like a homeless guy. If it weren't for the totally shaved head, which implies enough competency to shave your head or pay someone to do so, like, this guy looks so disgusting. He looks like a drug dealer or someone in the sex trade somehow, human trafficker. He looks disgusting. And he's up here in front of an audience of turbo normies saying that Jesus gave him the keys of Peter, and they're clapping. They're going with it. They're clapping. Okay.
Experienced it. I mean, I've seen people raised from the dead. You know, I've shared that here in Pakistan, the 3 people raised from the dead in revival. I mean, I've seen it.
There you go, folks. There it is. He's seen people raised from the dead. Okay, so this whole time I've just been playing the video that's embedded in the tweet from Protestia. I actually went and found the YouTube video for this thing. I found another little part that I liked. I've got that ready here. All right, let me get the audio turned down. Got to adjust the levels. I don't know what they're doing, these churches recording this stuff. Which, I mean, getting the keys to the gates of Hades. How about you get the keys to the gates of your audio department and you fix that, you fucking pieces of shit. Fuck you. Hold on, technical difficulties. It's so easy to criticize until you can't find how to close the chat relay when you're about to play the video on your podcast. Okay. All right, let's listen to this part.
What I feared. See, this is not just about being free from sickness, it's about being free from fear, because too many Christians have fear. Fear and uncertainty has paralyzed us, and we're not even moving in the power and the authority they have in Africa, where they're already in the revival of raising the dead. Almost everybody's seen the dead raised in Africa. It's true.
All right. Now, in Africa, I don't know if you know this, folks. In Africa, almost everybody's seen the dead raised. Almost everybody's seen the dead raised in Africa. I have a friend in Africa. I wonder if he's listening to this. I got to ask him about seeing the dead raised. Almost everybody's seen it. Okay? You go to Africa, you say, hey, have you ever seen a dead guy come back to life? They'll be like, yes. Yes, of course, this is Africa. Almost everybody's seen that. What are you talking about? All right, so there's this retard. I don't think we need to hear any more from him, but you've just got to, you've got to see that. So this is the journey I went on. I got that tweet. I watched that tweet. I was like, okay, this is entertaining. This retard with the tattoos. So then I go to the article that's on the Protestia website about this guy. Todd Bentley says he's been given the authority to, quote, cancel death, unquote, plus heal terminal illnesses. So it's kind of just like the tweet. 6 weeks ago, Bentley was taken to the hospital by ambulance after experiencing unexpected seizures. So, okay, the thing is, this guy, he's a big, like, faith healer. That's his whole deal. So it's kind of a doctor heal thyself sort of situation here. He's supposed to be a faith healer, but then he has these seizures. He goes to the emergency room, goes to the hospital. Okay. Within a day, he'd recover, claiming he'd been miraculously healed. Apart from using this event as a fundraiser, we wondered how he would spin this to take advantage of the goodwill. And now we know. So the problem I have with this article is clearly Protestia has it out for Todd Bentley. And I don't know why. Maybe they're jealous of the power and authority he's received from Jesus. I suspect that that's what it is. But they have obviously been writing about him a lot. They assume that you know a lot about him. They assume that you know he's a piece of shit. And they're writing like you know who he is, you know what's going on. Okay, so here's where it gets interesting. Bentley was invited to be a conference speaker at Morning Star Ministries by Rick Joyner, a charismatic leader who restored Bentley to ministry on 2 separate occasions after he was found guilty of sexual impropriety. All right, this is when I got excited. This is when this story went from a maybe it'll be on burn pile to a definitely. So they have a link later. They say, we have written extensively about Bentley. Yes, I know. You're assuming in your first few paragraphs that I know about him. You're really burying the lead because you're a retarded internet outlet with no editing. But this is still good reporting. It's still good. Okay. Recall that in the summer, which this is no way to start a sentence either. This is not a professional writing outlet. It kind of sucks ass. But okay, recall that in the summer of 2008, Todd was flying high, filling stadiums with a world-renowned. They didn't write the right words. Filling stadiums with a world-renowned revival in Lakeland, where he claimed to have raised multiple people from the dead. Okay, so in 2008, he was claiming this himself. So it's pretty cool for him to just bring this up again, be like, I've seen it in Pakistan. Everybody's seen it in Africa. Maybe now he's a little shy to say that he's done it himself. He got a little shy, but he does want you to know that it's a thing. It can happen. Okay. He was getting so much attention that 17 high-profile charismatic apostles, including blah, 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 came together in a ceremony of apostolic alignment over 32-year-old Todd Bentley, commissioning him to lead the Lakeland revival and recognizing him as an evangelist doing the work of the Lord, led by the Holy Spirit. Within a month of his alignment and commissioning ceremony, Bentley would announce that he was leaving Lakeland and stepping down. A few days later, he told the world he was divorcing his wife, and it was revealed that during his time as leader of the revival, as he was getting aligned by the apostles, he had been engaging in, quote, an unhealthy relationship on an emotional level with a female member of his staff, whom he later married. So, it's not all bad. It's not all bad. He did marry her. He wasn't just playing around. He did marry her. So it's fine. Relax. Okay, so I got a little sick of this article. This is what I mean, taking you on the journey that I went on. I got a little sick of this article, and I found that the Wikipedia article about Todd Bentley is better. It's better. So let's get into the Wikipedia for Todd Bentley. It's more interesting. All right, let's get into the controversies. Hey, the Nightline did an expose about his faith healings or whatever. Okay, who cares about that? All right, so this is from the Wikipedia article now. Bentley, and the heading for this Wikipedia section, divorce and sex addiction. Which, I mean, I don't want to question the Lord about who gets the keys to Hades. It's his decision. It's not mine. I'm not jealous that I didn't get the keys. I understand, but I mean, come on. Was this an oversight? All right. Bentley announced his separation from his wife in August 2008 and resigned from the board of Fresh Fire. I guess that's whatever. It was where he was preaching. A statement released by the remaining board members said, Todd Bentley has entered into an unhealthy relationship on an emotional level with a female member of his staff, and that he would refrain from all public ministry for a season to receive counsel in his personal life. Okay, so the seniors at the church, the guys who had sort of made him a made man, endorsed him as an evangelist, probably because he was bringing in crazy money to the church, just crazy people, crazy money, doing all this faith healing bullshit. So they brought him in, right? And then his wife starts to complain because he's fucking someone on his staff. So then they go into panic mode and they say, well, what the fuck are we going to do? How are we going to deal with this? Like, we can't have that. This guy's a big earner for us. All right. Someone needs to fix this. So they can't just kick him out. They have to do something. So they're like, all right, we're going to do marriage counseling for a season. You know what they're probably thinking? They're like, we'll do marriage counseling for a season. And Todd or one of us or one of our ghostwriters, we're going to write a book about this whole thing. It'll be our marriage counseling book. Todd will be back on the circuit. He'll be talking about how he worked things out with his wife. That's their plan, I think. Okay, here we go. Some of Bentley's Christian contemporaries called for him to step down in the wake of the scandal, stating that Christian leadership is incompatible with marital unfaithfulness. All right, this guy's a big earner for us. He's a big earner. What are you talking about? Okay. In response, a committee made up of blah, 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 blah was formed to oversee the process of spiritually restoring Bentley's family. All right. So if you go in your church and you say you're cheating on your wife, a committee does not get formed to oversee the process of spiritually restoring you. Okay? Everybody just sides with your wife. Okay? Maybe they'll have some Christian message for you too, but a committee getting formed, this is for big earners. This is for the big guys. You don't get access to this. This is for, if you haven't raised somebody from the dead, okay, you're not getting this kind of treatment from the church when you cheat on your wife. Okay, so in November 2008, the board of Freshfire announced that Todd has yet to enter into a clear system of accountability with the leaders he identified. On March 9th, 2009, Rick Joyner announced that Bentley had remarried. Okay, so if you get into this, he remarried. He married the woman he was having the affair with. So they bend over backwards to help him here. They say, we're going to restore your family. That means get you back together with your wife. He says, yeah, okay, sure. And then he ignores all that, and he marries the woman he was fucking. Okay, so you know what? Fine. You might be like, okay, this story's too long. It's not that interesting. You know, bastards go crazy, have affairs. I know he's all tatted up. All right, but wait. Just wait. All right, so there's accusations of more sexual impropriety, but none of that's important. That's not as important. What's important is the early life. Okay, so this is the journey I had been on. I jumped right to the divorce and sex addiction section. I had ignored the early life section. I want you to enjoy this early life section with me just as much as I did. Okay. So remember, he's got... This is all in the past. The most recent thing is the thing I started with. He's got the keys to Hades now. Jesus appeared to him in an orb of light. Everyone at that church is backing him up. Fucking the lady on his staff, dumping the old wife, getting the new wife, the new sexual impropriety allegations, all that, water under the bridge. But let's take it all the way back to when Todd Bentley was 15 years old. Okay, early life. Bentley was convicted at age 15 of sexually assaulting a much younger boy 2 years earlier. All right, you've got this guy. So when he was 13, he sexually assaulted a very young boy. Now, this is why first impressions are often correct. If you just look at him, if you just look at what he looks like, if you look at the tattoos and the beard and the glasses and the bald head, you would say the odds are that at some point in his life, he sexually assaulted a young boy. Just, if you just look at him, would you want your young boy around him? Just going by appearances. And now everything is water under the bridge. Sure, when he was 13, he fucked a little boy. Sure, as soon as he had wealth and power and was an important person, he dumped his wife and started fucking someone else. Sure, he said he would get back together with her, but he actually just married the younger, hotter wife. I'm assuming. I don't know if she was younger or hotter, but probably. Maybe she was boyish. Maybe. But he's a big earner, so it's all water under the bridge.